I think Josh Allen could necessarily make another Diggs? Maybe not to that level, but let's say hypothetical world where they traded Diggs for T Higgins and T Higgins came to Buffalo, right? Do I think Josh Allen will make T Higgins the star wide receiver that his projection is? Yes, I do believe that could happen. So at the end of the day, do I think it may be time for Diggs to go? Kind of, because at the same time, you don't every single year in your locker room, you don't want to have this holding over your head. The only problem that I would say getting rid of Diggs is the only person that keep Josh Allen accountable. Welcome, man, to Stay in Balance, the sports podcast of the people. I'm your host, Corey P, here alongside Howard. How you doing, bro?
What's good? How y'all doing? I'm getting excited and going to that Bills game tomorrow. So, we're gonna have a good time.
And K-Wall, what's up, bro?
Doing good, bro. Another week down, another week back. I'm doing great.
Yeah, man. I mean, so Howard, how did Bills game come apart? How long? How did that go?
Man, it went just as I said it needed to go. We either needed a win or lose a close game, so we fire our OC, and it happened. So we got what we wanted. So now it's just move forward. Hopefully, this Joe Brady guy. I mean, I've heard he just likes to throw the ball, and you know what? If that's what it's got to take for us to win, fuck it, we're gonna throw it. So I will say he had Christian McCaffrey, and McCaffrey had one of his best receiving years that year. So hopefully he unlocks that part of James Cook's game. And we got Leonard Fournette, so we know he can catch the ball. So we'll see how it goes.
Hey, man.
Wasn't that what y'all was doing before?
No, we didn't throw to Cook at all.
No, I'm saying like just throwing the ball the whole time. Wasn't that what y'all was doing before?
Negative, sir.
You
I
guys
don't
were
know. Did
running
you
it a
watch
lot.
the game? Did you watch the game?
Did you guys run
Watch
the
it?
ball a lot? I'm just asking. I was
I
wondering. I
mean,
don't know. I don't watch you guys' games. I was just wondering.
it was. So you don't watch prime time? It's all been on prime time last couple weeks.
Nah, not really. I don't think so.
All right.
Hey,
No,
man.
I'm
Hey,
fucking
man.
kidding.
I'm hoping.
No, I'm saying like, don't y'all throw the ball a lot anyway? You know what I'm saying? I thought like you wanted someone to mix in the run. Is what I'm saying.
Hey
Or
man, we gotta do what we gotta do to win. At this point, we gotta do what we gotta do. And if we just gotta say fuck it, we don't run the ball at all, because running at our shotgun doesn't work. That's a waste of down. Might as well just throw it at that point.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, I'm hoping to see you in the Bills Mafia at the game tomorrow. I mean,
Oh, I'll
hopefully
be
we see
there.
Howard out
bro,
there.
you gotta jump through like a flaming table or something like that and record
I ain't
yourself.
doing that.
You gotta do something crazy.
I ain't doing that.
All right. So after last week, our records came in. Howard's still on top, as always. He actually went in, I think he went 9-5. And K-Wall, you went 8-6 last week. And I went
That was
6-8. Right now, Howard's at 73-53. K-Wall, you're at 71-55. And I'm at 68-58 on our picks. So, I mean, we're eventually going to catch up. Howard going to have a bad week one of these weeks. We just got to
Man,
capitalize.
you guys pray on my downfall every week. I know.
If I
Hey,
keep
man.
betting on the bill, if I stop betting on the Bills, maybe my record will go up a little bit.
Yeah, man. Hey,
Go
man.
ahead.
Hey man, it's lonely at the top, Howard. You gotta expect that, man. It's lonely at the top.
Hey man,
Mountain.
I like being alone. I ain't gonna lie. I like sitting up there.
All right, man. So in football news this week, we had a Thursday night game, and in that game, Joe Burrow went down hit to a wrist injury that's going to take him out for the rest of the year. Cincinnati, they're right now they're out of the playoff picture, but they were in the hunt. But with Joe Burrow going down, we obviously know there's no Super Bowl aspirations this year. So, should the Cincinnati Bengals shut down Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and all the rest of their stars, and kind of tank for a top pick so they can add the alignment to Joe Burrow's staff next year?
So I would say yes, but there's two reasons why I don't think it's going to be possible, and I don't think it's going to happen. Number one reason, they're going to they're going to lose a draft pick. The NFL already came out, and they don't mess around with player safety. And the fact that photo came out that he had a brace on his arm and he wasn't on the injury report, they losing a pick. And I think the last time that happened, it was a first-round pick. So the Bengals losing a pick. That's why I said Zach Taylor is on a hot seat. They had to lose that first-round pick. So even if you tank, that pick's going somewhere else. You don't have it. Secondly, the NFL don't play with tanking. If we all remember what happened with the Eagles when they started sending their players and tanking, that's how old boy from the Eagles lost his job. A lot of people were saying the reason he lost his job wasn't because Howie Rosen or whatever wanted to fire him. It's because the NFL came down and said he's no longer the coach because that messed up a lot of things. There's a lot of people that are tight about it. You got to understand there's a lot of money that's involved in these games. So these players are playing. If you aren't hurt, you're playing. It's more than football now. There's the NFL, you have Vegas, you have DraftKings, you have millions and millions of dollars on this. So tanking is not going to be a thing. The NBA is already starting to get rid of it, and they've been trying and trying. The NFL is not going to let that happen in their league. They have done a pretty good job so far to stop tanking. So I think I don't think yes, it makes sense, but I don't think they can because one, I don't think it'll even matter because I don't think they'll have their first round pick. Pretty sure they're going to get slapped pretty hard for that because, like I said, the NFL don't play with injuries,
I
and
mean,
you can't. You got it. You have to put them on the injury report. That is that, and you know it's crazy how horrible organization is for you to take that picture, post it, and then as a coach, you know, hey, I got to put that in. And you still don't like, yes, slap that first round pick, get that out of there.
I don't know if the NFL won't come down as hard because it's like if Joe Burrow wakes up and his wrist is just feeling sore, I mean, like, and he just put a brace on it. I mean, what is there really to put? But I get what you're saying, and at the same time, right, we got T Higgins who already hurt, who we can just extend that
I
hurt
mean, yeah,
out.
you can do that one. Yeah.
Let's just put him on IR. Jamar Chase, who was dealing with a back injury last week, let's just say that got worse. I mean, it's not going to be like blatant, just like, oh man, they look good to go. But K-Wall, what you think, bro?
I mean, yeah, I mean, like there's a way to go about it. You know what I'm saying? Tanking. These people aren't stupid. There's a way to go about doing it. And then at the end of the day, they have to prove that you were actively trying to lose a game, which is extremely hard to do. You know what I'm saying? So they must have been very sloppy in Philly for that to be the reason why he got fired. You know. Secondly, without Joe Burrow out there, and like you just stated, T. Higgins being hurt, no one's gonna bat an eye if the Bengals lose every single game here on out to competitive opponents like Cleveland, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, the guys that they see in the division a couple more times. No one's gonna bat an eye if they go out there and lose those games with their third string quarterback or their backup quarterback with no Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if they're gonna I guess, sit everyone, there's a way to go about it. But if you just put everyone on IR tomorrow and just sit everyone out and start cycling guys, and then that's kind of blatant. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the NFL's version versus your version. The NFL is going to win every time. You just have to have a very compelling argument against why you're not tanking. But what they do have going in their favor is their star quarterback, who we've seen without him being out there, they look like an abysmal squad, is out.
Yes.
So as far as sitting everyone, I mean, it kind of sucks because you got a lot of guys on expiring deals that are playmakers for your team that you wanted to go out there and make a run for, and now it's kind of like murky because there's nothing on the QB free agent market, and what you got in house, I don't know if that's enough to get you maybe to the playoffs, but you're not going anywhere farther than that because there's going to be some games in the playoffs where you're going to have to put up some points, and that defense isn't like it's not bad, but it's not as stout as one would need to play that kind of field goal game in the playoffs, So
At this
I
point,
don't know. At this point, in retrospect, you're probably looking back on it and wishing that you traded T. Higgs. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't have any intention of bringing him back next year, if you feel like you could afford him, you probably would have wanted to trade him at the deadline for something because now he can walk out the door for free unless you want to tag him. But then if you tag him and you want to bring Mixon back, then you have to actually pay him this time. You know what I'm saying? So you're kind of caught in a conundrum. That's what I'm saying. Like this was the year to get all this out of everyone that are on these expiring deals and all these free agent contracts coming up, before Burrow's big money starts kicking in, and you have to pay Chase. There's no way around that one. But you still need line help. You still got to adjust the defense. So it's like this was the year. This was their year, and it sucks because Burrow's been injured all year long, and it's not his fault. Injuries happens, but like I
at,
said, there's a way to go about it if they wanted to do that.
at this point, nobody else mattered but that $260 million quarterback that you got back there. And at this time, this is his second season-ending injury that he had in his career. Because you remember he tore the ACL the first year or first or second year, whatever.
It's his rookie. Yeah.
Yeah, his rookie year, he tore the ACL, and now it's just wrist injury. I mean, and injuries happen. That's not something that we can, predict or whatever. But at this point, it's time for you to start protecting him. So if that means, T. Higgins got to go to IR, Jamar Chase back is a little sore. We got to start sitting him a little more. I mean, that just is what it is, because at this point, you got to protect that $260 million investment y'all got back there. Jamar Chase is the only one that we look at that is like untouchable other than Joe Burrow, because T. Higgins is a good wide receiver, and he's gonna probably go to another team and be great. But he's not a necessity on this team. He's a luxury. You know what I mean? So with that being said, Tyler Boyd is a decent wide receiver that can take that role that T. Higgins got. So you don't necessarily need T. Higgins back on that big contract. We know how the running back market is. It's one of those things where they're not going to get paid and all this stuff. And, next summer, they're going to be running backs on the market, that might want to come, like a Derrick Henry. He demands a lot of money, but at the same time, he might want to come and try to make a Super Bowl run in his career. So he might take a 1 year, $10 million deal, to come through for a year. So at this point, it might be time for them to find a way to tank and, get some line help, because if Joe Burrow is not protected and, every 4 or 5 years he has season-ending injuries, that's not really, protecting your
I
franchise
think
for the future.
I think this is the best thing possible that could have happened for Joe in the long term, was that he got sat down this year with his injury rather than him trying to play through it, and then something serious like a Achilles or an ACL or something major happens to where he even misses the start of next year.
Yeah.
At least with this, he gives because I don't think the injury that he went down for this year is the only injury that he was having. There's probably other ailing injuries that he was pushing through.
Yeah,
Now
they're
he
still
gives his
putting that
body a
wrap on
chance.
his leg every single
Yeah,
time he sit
now
down.
he gives his body a chance to get fully healthy. Now I think they can look at their team in a different perspective now, rather than Super Bowl or bust. Now they can look into next year on how to develop that. And really, you don't have to pay a running back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're finding guys every day in these fifth, sixth, fourth rounds or what that.
Yeah.
You find yourself a dual threat running back from a small school. You give him some blocking. I mean, the dude's gonna kill himself for playing time out there. And it's crazy. I'm referring to them like expendable entities, because these are some of the best athletes on the planet. But that's just the nature of the NFL and how they're viewed. You know what I'm saying? Why pay Joe Mixon at 28 $10 million when you can go find a kid right now? Like Baltimore found that kid at Mitchell from Eastern Carolina in the 7th round, or undrafted at that. Dude's got blazing speed and great hands.
Pacheco,
Fine.
6th round, 7th round,
Pacheco, 7th round. Eckler was what was he, like a 4th round, 5th round pick?
third,
You know what I'm
fourth,
saying?
somewhere in there.
Something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. You can find these guys. But what you really need to address, like you guys both said, is the line. You have to address this line. You can't keep bringing him back here because he's not a mobile guy. He can move, but he's not like these linemen are getting faster every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you're just gonna keep putting him in danger, you're just gonna keep throwing away seasons.
Yeah. And what is happening is you look at their defensive line is set. The Sam Hubbard dude, Hendrickson, and they can start addressing things, because that's the thing about the that's the thing about the NFL draft, right? It's fixed. So if you got the first pick in the first round, you go out the first pick in the second. First pick, like, it's not like, all right, if you got the first in the first round, you're gonna get the 30th in the second round. No, it's fixed. So you can address a bunch of picks. You can address a bunch of things with
And that's the
the
thing. I
picks.
don't even think they need to go out there and buy the most expensive lineman available.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's even that. I think they just need some continuity on their line and health, because they've spent money. They've spent big money on bringing guys in there, and they just can't stay healthy sometimes. There's no continuity. You got right tackles playing left guards playing right tackle. You just keep shifting guys around. They're all out of position because of injuries. You just need some continuity. 5 guys that can give you 13 games minimum a season, and some rotational guys that can play multiple positions. You don't have to go buy the most expensive left guard, left tackle, most expensive right guard. You just need to find some continuity and
Yeah.
not have to have, the makeshift shift coming on. Because when you got guys playing out of position across the line, dudes on these defensive ends like Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, they're gonna eat them for lunch.
Yeah, Joe Burrow also got to find a way to start getting. I know you're saying he was injured this year, but he also got to find a way to start getting off the better starts in the season, where he's not necessarily in that position where he's fighting for playoff spots every single year. So, and that will kind of alleviate some of this, where it feel like do or die every single week. You know what I
And
mean?
it sucks because they look like they was just about to start taking
Yeah,
off too.
fact,
You know what I'm saying? That's what sucks.
facts. All right, moving on. So, Buffalo Bills got
Yes, sir.
our wide receiver who is, I would say, top five. Some will say top three in the league. And this week, some tweets came out from his brother, who is a star in his own right in Dallas. I mean, I understand he's injured, in Trayvon Diggs, basically saying that they need to get Stefon out of Buffalo and that Josh Allen didn't start snapping until he got Stefon Diggs. So, and then we had all the situations this summer where Stefon Diggs seemed like he was ready to get out of there, where he was kind of beefing with the quarterback. So, is Stefon Diggs becoming more trouble than he's worth?
I will say this, bro. I will say this, and take it from Devonta Adams right now. Be careful what you ask for. You know what I'm saying? You got a great situation with a team that's not performing to their capabilities right now. It's not like the Bears. It's not like the Bills. Excuse me. It's not like the Bills suck or they're trash. They're just not. It just happens. They're through it. They're going through a funk. They win 3 games in a row. They're right back in the thick of the playoff picture. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful what you ask for because you could want out of there all you want and then go to a worse situation. And then now at 30 years old, 31 years old, you're stuck in a contract for 4 years. And this is where you may end up again. Because if you cry your way out of that situation, now this is who you are. You know what I'm saying? You're doing stuff detrimental. I'm surprised he hasn't been fined yet, but I understand the tweets, those weren't for him, those are from his brother. And it's his brother. He doesn't know what goes on within that locker room unless Stefon tells him. So he's looking at it from the outside looking in. But at the same time, it's not so much that Josh Allen didn't start snapping off until Diggs got there. That's more of like a two-way street because both their numbers started going up. Because Diggs was never a 1,000-yard receiver when he showed up until he got to Buffalo and he got to be the number one guy. So you can't really fault Josh Allen's numbers for going up because passing yards are, like I said, a two-way street. If I throw the ball to you at the 5-yard line and you take it 95 yards up to the house, that's 95 for you and that's 95 for me. That counts for both of us. You understand what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this though, right? So you say he was never a 1,000 yard receiver until he showed up there. Do you think that's on him, or do you think that's more on what they had in Minnesota before he got there? I
That's
mean,
on what they
you
had in
got you, you got,
this is what I'm saying. That was what they had on him in Minnesota, but he got an opportunity to come to a situation that he didn't have in Minnesota
but like, hear
to
what
be
I'm
the
saying
guy.
though. What I'm saying is, like, in Minnesota, he obviously did not have a. I mean, what he had Case Keenum. Who else did he have? Because they didn't have Kirk yet. Well, whoever. And then they also had Adam Thielen, prime Adam Thielen was on a similar level to a Stephon Diggs at that time of coming into the league. So was that on the quarterback play, or was that on Diggs' talent? Is what I'm
It's on the
asking.
offense. It was on the offense. Diggs wasn't used as a. You got to remember, Thielen was the chain mover. Diggs was the big play kind of guy. When Diggs got to Buffalo, he was the everything. You know what I'm saying? So when you give a young quarterback and everything, like you see all the time when these guys like Hurts, right? Hurts' numbers didn't start taking off till AJ Brown showed up. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it was a 1 year
Tua's
difference.
numbers didn't start going off until Tyreek Hill started showing up. Once you put these star receivers with these young quarterbacks, it's a two-way street. Obviously, this is what you're bringing them in for. You want his numbers to go up, the quarterbacks, and entail with you being the guy, you're going to get all the work. So now he's showing that he's capable of anchoring an offense and being that guy like we thought he was. As far as what was the question? Did he play himself out of here
No,
or?
no, it's Diggs becoming more trouble than he's worth.
Yeah, I think his frustration is a little bit loaded. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more moving pieces to why they're losing these games to the teams that they are outside of just him and Josh Allen. I think he's being a little bit selfish with his where he's channeling his frustration from. I don't think it's helpful not only to himself but to the team or wherever at that. Because it's not just the offense that's the reason why they're losing. You know what I'm saying? You've got plays on defense that are caught. It's a and total, you know what I'm saying? And they're trying to correct it, like we just stated in the last segment, or the when we started was they're getting a new OC in there. You got to
So
give it a chance. Like I just said, they're only a couple games back. They're not like out
is
of it.
is he more trouble than he's worth? Should the Bills trade him? Yes or no?
But then that's the other thing. It's a double-edged sword, right? There's not a lot of
Is
these
he more
guys laying
trouble
around.
than he were? At a certain point, Antonio Brown became
No,
more trouble than he was
no,
worth.
I don't think
And
he's
it
to
was
that
time to
level.
get Antonio Brown out of there.
I don't think he's to that level because with Diggs, you could see the passion when he's on the sidelines. It's not so much like he's being like a baby, which sometimes he can be, but I think he's more. It's more passion. Like he just wants to win. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he's more trouble than he's becoming, but it can get there like tomorrow. If this week this game happens and he has a temper tantrum blows up, then yeah, he's becoming more of a problem than he's worth
All right,
because
Howard.
he is older. Yeah, go ahead, Howard.
All right, so to build on it, he did have Kirk Cousins for 2 seasons
Okay.
in Minnesota. Let's see here. This one's kind of tough because you got to look at it in a lot of places. And first, you got to look at his contract. So even if he does not want to be here, like I've been telling everyone, it doesn't make sense for us to either cut him or trade him because we got to pay him regardless. So he kind of when he signed that deal, he said, "I'm signing this to retire Bill." So he fully knew when he signed this deal, like, "Hey, I'm living and I'm dying here." As K Wall said, the tweets from his brother, whatever. That's a brother looking out for a brother.
Yeah, it's not
He,
he could do about that.
Do
yeah,
you not think that's coming from him though?
That was during the
no,
game he sent that out. Unless
yeah, that
he's
was towards
texting
the
me in the
yeah.
locker room, you know.
The conversations are the conversations.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
bro, if it, like, okay, let's take it like this, right? We're both married, right? I'm not trying to out us, but like, if we going through something, I'm gonna hit you up and I'm gonna fucking give you the most worst possible scenario to make it sound a little bit worse than what it is because I'm frustrated. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Yeah.
going through it. That's the same thing probably with him and his brother. It's probably blowing out of proportion a little bit, but that's not on Diggs.
and then you gotta. So I said that. So you really can't. Whatever like he said in his post game, he said, "Hey, what my brother says is what my brother says. You got a question about it, take it up with him." You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna speak on him. He said what he said. Whatever. And then I'm gonna kind of steal from what LaShawn McCoy said about this situation and the fact that people are maybe looking at Josh Allen. I'll be honest with you, Stefon Diggs, before he got traded to Buffalo, no one, and I mean no one, had him near the top 5 receivers in the league.
Not
And the
even top
minute,
10.
yeah, no, not even top 10. The minute he comes to Buffalo, he shoots and he's in everybody's top 5. And like you said earlier, Kerry, he's in some people's top 3. He said that doesn't just happen if your quarterback is boo boo bum cheeks. You know what I mean? And then he talked about let's look at Dak, right? And you look at Dak and Amari Cooper. He had Amari Cooper, and Amari Cooper looks a whole lot better in Cleveland than he ever did in Dallas. CeeDee Lamb, he looks like a hell of a receiver, but I mean, I don't know if Dak's even unlocking him. So it's like, how are you going to say that when the quarterback you have on your team, hey, had never been to an NFC Championship game, ain't won as many playoff games as him, and he's been in the league less. Every year, Josh Allen's been the starter of the Buffalo Bills. He's went to the playoffs. You can't say that about your quarterback. So he's like, you can't when you live in a glass house, you can't throw stones. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I mean, we did get a little lucky with the Bengals losing Joe Burrow and the Cleveland losing Deshaun Watson. We
That's what I'm
got
saying.
real lucky.
That's what I'm
We
saying,
got
dude.
real
It's
lucky
you're
because
right
we
there.
probably gonna make the playoffs, whether we
You win
deserve
2, they
to
lose
or
2,
not.
you're right
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
there.
Whether we deserve to, if we're a good enough team or not, we're going to probably punch a ticket. I don't want to jinx it. I'm knocking on wood, but we're going to punch the ticket. Now, let's get to the part. Is he causing more trouble than good? To a certain extent, because I watched his interview and I think he understands what his passion is kind of doing. And because they asked him, "Do you want to still be here?" And he's like, "How many times do I got to say this? Like, what other way do you want me to say this to like you to understand? I want to be here. I'm just a passionate dude." And sometimes passions get hot, and you know you're gonna throw shit on the sidelines. You're gonna do all this. Plenty of players do that, but because they're not 14 on the Buffalo Bills on a team that everyone kind of watches, you're not gonna hear about it. So is it getting to that point? It's coming close. I'm not gonna lie. It's coming very close because I'm tired of it and I'm a fan. And if I'm Josh, like I just got my OC fired. People are coming at me. People are coming at my receiver. People are saying he doesn't want to be here. I think he wants to be here. My head coach is the guy I really have a lot of respect for. My head coach. Now I'm fighting to keep him around. Like that extra noise that his passion is causing. Yeah, you know what? It's getting there. Is it there yet? No. Is it building to where you look at it like, is there a way we can maybe move him? Because I'll be honest with you, like you said about Devontae Adams, be careful what you fucking wish for. Because I don't know how many teams are going to get you 120 catches and 1,200 yards every year with 9+ TDs. That is going to be tough to find
Teams aren't
anywhere
even
else.
like
You know what I mean?
Squads aren't even building like that no more.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're not trying to put it all on one guy no more. They're bringing in help every single year.
let me ask you this, right? So on Thursday Night Football, well, we just seen what Mark Andrews go down. Hopefully, healthy for the future, all that stuff.
He's
But we saw when Mark Andrews went down, they kind of opened up Lamar to the rest of the field, right? Do you think if y'all get Diggs out of that lineup like next year, do you think that could open up for Khalil Shakir to take a next step, Kincaid to take a next step?
That's an
Uh,
excellent question. That is a good question
like,
because I do feel.
yeah.
You remember how Baker said when he was in Cleveland, right? He felt obligated to try and force the ball to OBJ, and it did a lot more hurt than it did help. Depends on how the season ends, but right now I think the whole Diggs and Allen thing is kind of plateaued to the point of where it's how good it's gonna get. You know what I'm saying? And there's no more that you can give him without becoming too predictable. Now, if you take Diggs, hypothetically say Diggs goes, and you like you just stated with the other guys, I think it does allow the offense to open up a little bit more because you could run as many plays, you could drop whatever you want, but once he says snap, it's whatever Josh Allen sees on the field. You know what I'm saying? And Diggs is open 9 times out of 10. So you may want a wheel route to Cook, or you may want to check down to Kincaid, or you got some drawn up for Shakir. But if he comes out the snap and the first thing he sees is Diggs open and he throws it there, that's where he's going to throw it. I do think it would help with Josh's growth, but I think this situation, I just want to touch on this real quick. I think this situation that they're going through is good for them because this is their first set of adversity as contenders. You know what I'm saying? As playoff contending team. Usually every year they're punching their ticket 13-3, 14-2, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're in the thick of it. They're fine.
Yeah, and it don't allow Josh Allen, me and Howard have arguments through tests all the time about Josh Allen. And my biggest thing that through them arguments are that I just want Josh Allen to be held accountable to the standard of elite quarterbacks. I don't want him held to the standard of just good quarterbacks for the most part. And I feel like, Josh Allen had been at this level of where he's just elite, where he's at this elite level, where he's with these top quarterbacks that he started resting on his laurels, where he's like, there ain't no other team in the East that could come up. And now that the Dolphins are finally coming up, it's going to push Josh every single year to where he's going to have to go out there and play.
But I
You know
think
what I mean?
Diggs and Allen have plateaued. I don't think Josh Allen has plateaued yet. I
No, I
think
don't think
there's
he
another.
plateaued.
I think there's another gear. There's another level that he could possibly reach too. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And I definitely see that same thing. And I feel like,
I think he could throw for 5,030 TDs and run about 6 of them in.
so this is the thing. Like, we don't have arguments over tests and all that. Did Diggs make Allen? Did Allen make Diggs? Whatever. In a sense, it's kind of like they made each other, but at the same time, Diggs not the quarterback. So do I think Josh Allen could necessarily make another Diggs? Maybe not to that level, but let's say hypothetical world where they traded Diggs for T. Higgins and T. Higgins came to Buffalo, right? Do I think Josh Allen will make T. Higgins the star wide receiver that his projection is? Yes, I do believe that could happen. So at the end of the day, do I think it may be time for Diggs to go? Kind of, because at the same time, you don't every single year in your locker room, you don't want to have this holding over your head. The only problem that I would say getting rid of Diggs is the only person that keeps Josh Allen accountable. Nobody else will talk to Josh Allen the way that Diggs do. So that would be the only problem with getting rid of Diggs. But at the same time, you don't want this in your locker room every single year. I mean, he is a
Do
great
you really
runner.
want? Do you really want to see Diggs on a Bengals team with a healthy Burrow and an
No,
improved
no, no, no.
line?
That was just a
No, I know.
hypothetical.
I'm just saying. If they send him to Cincinnati, you got to
Yeah,
understand what you're gifting Joe Burrow with a Jamar Chase too,
yeah,
because
definitely. That
you're gonna have an angry Diggs with a chip on his shoulder, with a team that's ready to contend for a Super
Yeah, no.
Bowl. So
if you are
you'd
getting
have to trade him to the
he's not going to
NFC.
the
Bro.
Yeah,
AFC. He's
he's
not
going.
staying in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. No,
He ain't staying
he's
in the AFC.
he going to Carolina. We're
Yeah,
saying he's going to
yeah. He
Carolina.
got to go Carolina, Dallas, shit, fucking San Fran. If so,
Send
but
him to
he's not
Philly.
staying in
Do
the
it. Do a
AFC.
swap. Do a Devontae Smith for Diggs swap.
Yeah, I mean something like that, and I feel like that will work out for both teams. But you like he should be worried about. But do I feel like Diggs is going to get his numbers no matter what? Yes, because somebody's going to force feed him the ball. Dog, no matter where he go, unless he just go to just a stack. If he went to San Francisco, yeah, no, of course he's not because there's too many weapons out there. But more than likely, where he's going to go, he's going to get the ball force fed to him. But like I said, I think it might be time to spin the wheels this summer. Spin the wheels, see what is out there.
How old is he?
He's 29. He's turning 30
29.
next year.
Yep.
I will say, if we do trade him, like you said, he's got to go to the NFC. And then if I am Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott, I'm saying, hey, we probably need another guy because in house, I think we got a bunch of twos. I don't think we got any one in the house. I don't think Gabe Davis is one. I don't think Khalil Shakir is going to be one. And Kincaid, I don't like having a tight end as one because he's not Travis Kelce. Now, when I look for a one, I think now I'm going to look for a quiet one. One that, hey, even if he's mad, he's not going to be on the sidelines doing that.
Would you
like
consider
a T. Higgins?
Would you consider an AJ Brown type situation, like draft night, first round, your first round pick?
We did it with Diggs. I mean, I would be cool if we it depends on the receiver, obviously. But if we're just going to throw a first round pick, because we're probably going to have a 20, right? Somewhere around there, 20 or later. Hopefully, God forbid it's earlier than that.
No. What I mean is trading Diggs and going to get a rookie wide receiver.
Oh, yeah, I'd be cool with that. I'd be cool with that. You see these rookie wide receivers nowadays? They're stepping in like Chase, Jefferson.
Okay, nobody traded Marvin Harrison Jr. So that's the question.
I'm just saying, but
hey, Keon Coleman, baby. Keon Coleman. That's the one I want.
But I don't know if Diggs will see what AJ Brown. The thing that was working with AJ Brown was AJ Brown was like 25.
You're like 25, 24, 25.
And he was on the cusp. So it would have to be like you'd have to go back in time to when Diggs was leaving Minnesota and do a deal like that when he was right on the cusp.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, we'll see how this all unfolds as the season progresses. All right. So we got one head coach in the league that just never fails. And it seems like no matter what the turnover with this team is year in, year out, this guy, he finds a way. He finds a way to be in contention. He finds a way to make the playoffs. And he just finds a way. His quarterback can play like trash. He don't care. Running back say, I don't care no more. He don't care. He finds a way. That defense is always going to be good, and he's going to he's going to get enough points to win. And that coach is Mike Tomlin. Is Mike Tomlin the best coach in the NFL right now?
Oh, man, I'll tell you, he's the most consistent coach I've ever seen. The best coach. It's hard because I'm not even going to put Bill Belichick in this argument because we're talking about right now. So all his accolades, I'm going to put aside because if we're just not going to talk about that, all right? Because they're terrible. New England's terrible.
Yeah, we're talking right now. I'm not talking
right now. It is tough because Andy Reid is, to me, if you look at the best coach right now, it has to be Andy Reid because goddamn, that team still finds a way. He's got Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes. I mean, their defense is playing well, but they're still the king of the NFL. So right now, Andy Reid's got to be number one because they've been the king for a little bit now. So you got to give it to Andy Reid for number one. Number two, as much as I hate to say this, Shanahan, you got to think. I mean, he's been plugging quarterbacks in that system and still finding ways. You know what I mean?
Look at the
roster.
Company. Look at the roster. Well, I could plug you in there for a couple of weeks, and we could run the ball and win a couple games.
But I mean, they went farther in the playoffs. They beat some hell of a teams.
Now, what do you think Tomlin would do with San if they switched rosters right now? What do you think Tomlin would do? What? Oh, God. Because I'm not trying to cut you off. It's just this is what makes him the best coach in the NFL, right? Look at his personnel right? I understand he's got an elite defense.
I
You know
was
what I'm
gonna
saying?
say. I mean,
But you got to score points though. You can't rely on the defense to score the
he
points for you
got
week in week
dogs
out.
on offense.
He
He
got
do have
dogs.
dogs.
Oh, and he don't even really got a good defense. He got a good front four.
That's
True.
all you need.
True.
Yo, he
True.
no,
But I'm saying he
yo, that
doesn't.
secondary
Like,
go yards.
look at Sirianni, right? Look what Sirianni has to work with, right? He's got both sides of the ball, top to down, studs, locks.
Yeah.
There's no holes on it, right? That's easy to win with that. I know it's the NFL. Kyle Shanahan, say what you want. I think he's a great offensive minded coach, but he's always had studs in San Francisco, like superstars in San Francisco, right? Andy Reid, you got Pat Mahomes. I don't think he would be the coach if he wasn't able to win with just Pat Mahomes alone. That's
He
how
did,
great Pat Mahomes is.
he did win
I'm
without
not
Pat
discrediting him.
Mahomes.
I'm not
No.
discrediting him.
Alex
Whatever.
Smith will take you so
This is
far.
I'm not discrediting any of these coaches. I'm just saying compared to what Mike Tomlin has, I think Mike Tomlin is the best coach, but he's also the best player personnel coach that there is because he gets the best out of. If you're coming up off the practice squad and you're gonna be the starting safety today, that dude will run through a wall for him. You know what I'm saying? And that's sometimes all you need. And that's what they're doing. They're getting exactly what they need to win. Because at the end of the day, regardless if you win by 2 points, 1 point, a field goal, a punt return, or something like that, a win is a win. And that's what they're doing right now. They're winning. You don't even know that the Steelers are 6-3 right now, or 6-2. One would think watching their games how slow and methodical it is, that they're like middle of the pack, but they're actually damn near first in their division, and the toughest division right now.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes them the best coach.
I can mess with the argument over Shanahan. All right, whatever. I'll give you that one. But Andy Reid, I mean, I can't because I've watched Andy Reid take Alex Smith was second in MVP voting on the Kansas City Chiefs. Riddle me, how does that work? How is that even a thing? You know what I mean? Like,
Look,
we
I
got.
thought you said we're going off of. I thought you said we're going off of right now, like this year.
I mean, right now, I mean, look at this Chiefs team. I mean,
okay.
Patrick Mahomes is playing bad, and they're still winning.
Okay, but
Is there anybody on the Steelers that is to the level of Travis Kelce, tight end and receivers included?
But that's my point exactly. Like, look, it's the same thing with Bill. It's the same thing with Bill. We had to say Bill was the greatest because all right, he was winning and all. But at the same time, when we look back at it now, it's like, yo, Bill had the GOAT quarterback and he had the GOAT tight end. What do Andy Reid got?
Moss for a little bit too.
What do Andy Reid got? He got the GOAT of today, at least. He got the GOAT quarterback and he got the GOAT tight end. It's like, yo, he got all these people that are like that can help you win in any day because you got the best quarterback in the league and you got
And he has a run game too. When they want to use it, they have a run game too.
Yo,
I know Pacheco's not a superstar. He doesn't have the draft yeah, like what you just said. But I mean, he can run the ball if he wanted to. You have a guy you spent a first round pick on, and I think all three of us combined could beat him in a 40-yard dash.
Yo, Shanahan he's out of the question because Shanahan got so many times. You could go be the coach. You could go be the coach today. You could be the coach today. You get some offensive coordinator that can just draw up some simple plays, and you'll go at least to the championship game. That team is not like, yes, it's a bunch of talent, it's a bunch of egos. You probably have to, but at the same time, that team is not hard to coach. You got the best middle linebacker in the game. You got that front line is probably the best in the league. Weapons wise, you got as a collective, you got the best weapons. You got the best left tackle. That team is not hard to coach. So I'm not saying Shanahan don't do nothing, man. Yes, he is a great coach, but at the same time, you could almost plug and play at coach with that team. What Mike T has to do, he has to look Kenny Pickett in his face and say, what am I going to get from you today? What am I going to get from you today? Can you just give me 130 yards, 150 yards, and we'll find a way from there? One touchdown. Najee, can you at least give me 50 yards, maybe 50 yards? Jalen Warren, get the other 50. And we're going to find a way to win. And he doing all this without even unlocking his best weapon yet. George Pickens, we talked about him before the beginning of the year.
I love him in the Bills uniform. I'll tell you that.
We talked about him before the beginning of the year of what he could be. And he hasn't even got unlocked yet. And Mike Tomlin is doing this without that? Come on, man. Mike.
To me, because you say, and I've seen Andy Reid take less talent. Like do this. I've seen him take a not a talent list, but like a middle of the road talented team and win. I've seen him take Alex Smith and
And
Dwayne Bowe to the playoffs. I've
okay.
seen him win games with them. You know what I mean? Like so,
Mike
I said,
Mike Tomlin took a broke arm Ben Roethlisberger to the playoffs. Took them 11-0.
well, we seen that schedule, and everyone knew that shit was kind of fun. But
Ben Roethlisberger couldn't throw it past 5 yards.
He had Deontay Johnson. They had a pretty good running game at that point. And they had a decent offense, an offense that was built around Ben Roethlisberger's play style at that point of his career. I just right now I'll give Tomlin 2, but I can't dethrone the coach that won a Super Bowl and is headed towards what we think probably another AFC Championship game, maybe possibly another Super Bowl. I can't. You know what I
I can
mean? I
respect the
just can't.
argument.
You know what I mean? I just can't. Then that's just so do Super Bowls, do all this stuff. Does this not matter? Like, you
No,
know what I
it do
mean? So
matter. It do
If the
matter.
Lions, I'm gonna ask y'all this: if the Lions make an NFC Championship appearance, are you gonna throw? Are you gonna throw Campbell in the conversation
Yo,
as being one
Campbell
of
up
the
there.
leaders?
Campbell up there already. He gotta
Because
be either
what
five or
he's
six.
done in Detroit. Because remember, Detroit was a mockery, and
I was
everyone
gonna
laughed
say
at
he
him when he
flipped.
showed up and he gave that intro speech, and everyone's like, "Yeah, right, whatever, bro, calm down."
Hey man,
Look at what he's done. Look at what
He
he's done.
gotta be
And
top.
every year, you can't say he went out and bought this and bought that. Every year, he's drafted the right guys every single year. So
He know.
those kind of things I don't hold against teams when they have like loaded offenses because they drafted right. That's
Yeah.
different. Going out and purchasing everything, yeah. I mean, if you go out there and you have the money to buy all the best
yeah.
players in the market, yeah, you're gonna be great. But actually going through the draft, developing these guys, drafting them, no one thought of Amon Ramsey Brown until they took him in the 4th round. You understand?
That
Nobody was
one
looking
was true.
Nobody was looking at Laporta like that. Nobody was looking at
And
Gibbs to
and
go that
then
early. None of that. They've drafted on the line. They hit on every pick they've taken on the offensive line. These guys that they get in the 2nd, 3rd round on defense, looking like Pro Bowlers. Like
when he
they're
did with
doing it.
Jared
He's doing
Goff.
his thing.
Look at Jared
Golf.
Goff. Jared Goff was on his way
Everyone
out the
thought they were
league or
sending.
to be a backup.
They thought they were sending Golf up there to go die. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think these is his most productive seasons he's put together, even in his Rams days.
Minus the 1 year.
Minus that 1 year, yeah.
Yeah, I was just say minus that 1 year.
Did he make the Super Bowl or did Todd Gurley and that defense make him to take him to the Super Bowl?
I mean, that offense was pretty
You can't
crazy.
discredit. Yeah, the offense is kind of wild because he had Cooks, Woods. Cup was a youngster, but he was
Todd
like a
Gurley,
3rd
when
guy.
that was Todd
Todd
Gurley
Gurley
balling.
was
Yeah,
in his prime. You know what I'm saying?
catching the ball, running the ball. Yeah, that shit was.
Aaron
He had an
Aaron
offensive
Donald
line. He
was
had a defensive
crazy.
line. They had a secondary. They had everything. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
just didn't
But
show up for the most important
another
game.
team. Look, another team where everything was purchased though.
facts,
Outside of Goff and Gurley, another team that was everything was purchased.
facts. All right, so moving on. We saw a Thursday night football game where Baltimore took the win over Cincinnati, even though we've been talking about how Joe Burrow got hurt in that game. Baltimore, top to bottom, is looking like an elite team from offense, defense. Shoot, with those special teams in there, forget it. Whoever, top to bottom, looking like an elite team. But my question for y'all today is Baltimore the best team in the AFC?
I think right now, yeah. I think right now, I think you can, like I know you got Andy Reid and the Chiefs, like you said, right? I get all that, right? But if the Chiefs can't get the ground game running, which I said they're capable of having a ground game, that's all dependent on their line being able to make those holes against. I'm saying like if the Chiefs and the Ravens are playing right now, I don't think the Chiefs are able to get the ground game going. And then now you have to trust these receivers that you've found to help move the chains. And I don't want to put anything against Pat Mahomes. He's excellent. That defense is great. I just think the Ravens have more going for them right now than the Chiefs do, but the Chiefs are finding a way to win, and they probably do the same thing against the Ravens. But for argument's sake, I'm gonna say the Ravens are the best team in the AFC. They've got a stout defense. They've got a great ground game. You know, they've got like 3-4 guys that they can run the ball with, including Lamar. Now that Andrews is done for the season, that's gonna hurt. But they got that kid Likely that they know how to use him, and he's a good pass blocker. And they got receivers this year, competent guys that can catch the ball. So right now, I think they're the best team in the AFC.
Howard?
Um, Hey man, and I've been humbled many times because of this same thing. I'm gonna preach it until the day I die. Until the king of the mountain is dethroned, you can't, because they still, when you look at the standings, you got the Chiefs and you got the Ravens, and I think that's perfect because in a head-to-head matchup, I you guys can call me crazy, but in a head-to-head matchup right now, no one's talking about that Chiefs defense. That Chiefs defense can put some work in. Like that's a top 10 defense. Like no lie, like that defense is good. They got two corners in Snead and McDuffie who are playing really well. They got Bolton who's playing really well as a linebacker, and obviously we all know about Chris Jones and what he does for that defensive line. So that defensive line is already at a high level. And then I think it comes down to what offense do you trust more? Do you trust Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes, and Kelsey, or do you trust um, Lamar, Odell? I'm gonna say
Zay
Flowers. I'm gonna put
Flowers.
him in. Yeah, I'm gonna say Zay Flowers. And do you put Rashad Bateman in it? Do you put him in that argument? Or
He's gonna have
I'm
to.
gonna keep him out of the argument because I don't know.
I don't know. I think the Ravens have more quality wins than the Chiefs do.
It,
I'm looking at their schedule right now. You know, the Ravens, they smacked the Texans, who are making a push to make the playoffs. They beat the Bengals twice now this year. They beat the Browns earlier this season.
They
The team we just talked about, the Lions, they beat the dog shit out of them by
they
32.
did.
They held the Seahawks, who have a really potent offense, to 3 points. You know, I just think if I had to trust the defense more, and don't get me wrong, the Chiefs defense is playing amazing right now, but I think they're overperforming a little bit. And there might be some regression. I know what I'm getting with the Ravens defense. So if it came down to who's stopping who, I think the Ravens have a better chance of stopping Pat with no Tyreek. This is with no Tyreek. The Ravens haven't played him since not having a Tyreek Hill there. You know, so this would be with a no Tyreek, right? So there, that option of just throwing it up and fuck it, Tyreek will be there. That's not an option now.
I think this week is going to be a good because hey, we've seen the Ravens play, and I ain't gonna lie, as much hate as I was giving the Bengals, up until that point where Joe was getting hurt, I kind of was thinking the Bengals were going to pull that game out. I'm not gonna lie because the defense the Bengals was playing was stymieing a Lamar. Like their drives weren't looking as good. Now, obviously, what happened. So you're going to give the Ravens a win, but I'm going to say this weekend when the Chiefs play the Eagles, I think that'll really tell you where the Chiefs are on that. Because honestly, if I would be honest with you, and I'm ranking teams in the NFL, not just AFC, NFC, I right now have the Chiefs number one, obviously, King of the Mountains, King of the Mountain. I got two Eagles just because I don't think there's a team in the league that's got
Oh,
a.
were we doing? My bad. I'm sorry. You can
No,
keep
no,
no,
it
saying.
no, no.
was
I said
AFC.
AFC. I
Yeah,
said
yeah,
AFC, but
AFC.
he
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I thought you
And
said the
then
NFL.
yeah, no.
That changed
Well,
things.
I'm saying it for my point. I'm saying I got Chiefs, Eagles, then the Ravens. Now, if the Eagles show that they come out there and they beat the Chiefs, then I'm gonna have to slide the Eagles down. I mean, the Eagles up, and then the Ravens. Now we're really because now you look at it's like, damn, it's really neck to neck. There is a hell of an argument. It's
I
just
get your
I,
argument. I
you
get
know
your
what I mean.
argument. But if the Chiefs lose to the Eagles, I don't think you can use that as a measuring stick with the Chiefs and the Ravens because the Eagles is so OP. You know what I'm saying?
You
but
have
but
to.
this is what I'm gonna say,
You
right?
have to.
I feel like they
You know what I'm saying?
finally. I feel
The
like
Ravens need to
Baltimore.
play the Chiefs. That's what the schedule makers need to do is put that on the schedule sometime next year.
I feel like Baltimore has finally figured out the perfect way to use Lamar. I feel like they done figured out, hey, let's just get this run game. You know, I feel like we at the beginning of the season were looking at, okay, J.K. Dobbins was coming back, or it's gonna be that. But they don't found a way, hey, running back by committee. They don't found a change of back pace with Mitchell this year, who, you know, a bunch of speed, and that defenses are actually biting on, which allows Lamar to actually get out and get more open lanes in that read option. Um, and this is the thing with the Chiefs, their defense is playing very well, and you're
Yeah,
correct when you say
it's
that.
crazy.
But their offense is struggling, and if their offense struggles against that Baltimore defense, oh yeah, it's going to be a long day for Pat. So right now, when I'm looking at it, as far as everything is clicking from defense, offense, all that stuff, I'm looking at it like the Ravens really are the best team in the AFC right now. I mean, obviously, that could change in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But if we're looking at it today, I see if the playoffs start today and the Ravens have to play the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs will be going home as
Oh,
of
I
today.
think so
oh,
too. I
oh,
would have liked to see them play the Chiefs with Mark Andrews because Mark does make things a little bit easier for Lamar with them layup throws. But someone's gonna have to
yeah.
step up like they do with every other position. Someone always steps up and performs. So I think Likely is ready for the task. They're not asking him to go be Mandrews. They're just asking him to go out there and just
And
be competent.
OBJ is looking a lot like, we don't want to
Looking
compare,
a little limber.
obviously.
He's looking a little limber, a little
Yeah,
quick
he,
this
he
year.
he's looking like OBJ in New York a little bit, you know what I mean? So
I will say I think that. So you said the Mark Andrews. I think that Mark Andrews injury, like way farther than his targets and his catches. I think it really hurts him in an X's and O's thing because Mark Andrews really stopped teams from playing just bland cover three on which was kind of hurting Lamar because cover three, I mean, it's a tough coverage, but when you have a tight end like Andrews who can split that seam and just run right down it, and so you have to play man. Like it kind of forces you to play more man.
I I I would agree with you, right? But the thing is, Zay Flowers is electric, right? If you get Zay Flowers that little underneath in the middle, he can turn that in from that little 5 yard underneath. He could turn that into 50,
And
60
maybe
yard
he's just
touchdown.
waiting for his opportunity to become the guy right now because they're going to look to him to move the chains and stuff like that. So maybe this is his chance when Mandrew's being out.
So as of right now in the AFC, looking at it, we're looking at I say it's the Ravens, then the Chiefs. I mean, but like I said, in a couple of weeks that could definitely change. All right, finally, final topic of the day. I want to talk to Howard about this one. You know,
I know.
as a, as of right now, Buffalo is 11th in the AFC, and the Chargers are 12th. Buffalo has a 5-5 record. Chargers have a 4-5 record. And obviously, there's still plenty of games in order for them to make playoffs, whatever. But as of right now, they're out of the playoff contention. So if Buffalo and the Chargers do not make the playoffs, which quarterback should we be more concerned about?
So I'm not gonna lie. This one, I see. I think it's a no brainer. It's obviously Justin Herbert. Like it can't be Josh because Josh has went to the playoffs and went far. You know what I mean? He's been in an AFC Championship game. He's won how many playoff games? Like we've seen him, and we've seen quarterbacks have bad years, right? But we've seen him have great years. Justin,
True.
Justin went to the playoffs once. Not every single year he's been the starting quarterback. He's only been there once, and we see him kind of blow a big ass lead. So he
True.
doesn't even have a playoff win. So
Made me a lot of money that night.
yeah,
Thank you for that,
and
Justin.
and Justin Herbert is getting paid more than Josh Allen. So now there's it's like so this man's getting paid more than Josh. He ain't won a playoff game. We're on year 6 and we missed the playoff again. Now I will understand. I will say you got to look coach. I think coach should fire. They don't make the playoffs. Staley's gone. But if you're gonna say which quarterback are you more concerned about, I'm more concerned about Justin Herbert because, like I said, I haven't even seen this guy win a playoff game,
What,
and
what,
he's
what,
getting paid more than Josh.
what
This is tough. This is a hard question because I don't think there's a right answer to what quarterback you're worried about because you've seen Allen ball out. You've seen Justin Herbert go crazy. Maybe he's just a stat stuff for QB. Maybe that's where he is. Maybe he doesn't elevate the team to be better. But as far as who I'm worried about, I'm not worried about either one of them. I
Oh
think it's
my
more
gosh,
comes down
K
to
Wall, K
it's
Wall, answer
coaching.
the
It's
question.
coaching. I'm
Answer the
telling you,
question. Stop being
coaching.
political.
It's
Which
not the
quarterback should
player.
we be more concerned about if they don't make the playoffs?
I think okay, if you had to pick somebody, maybe Josh Allen because of what everything how I just said that he's capable of going. We don't. I mean, I don't think we bring up the Chargers and think about them going to the Super Bowl every year. But the Bills, yeah, we talk about them every year being a Super Bowl contender, this and that. So maybe you're worried about Josh Allen. Maybe he's regressing a little bit, but maybe he just had a down year. All quarterbacks have a down year. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
But then you
god.
can make an argument for Herbert. Like Herbert's not elevating the squad. You're paying him all this money and they're not winning any games. But it comes down to coaching in LA. Everyone knows it's coaching. So it's like it's a tough question, bro. I don't know.
Which quarterback is elite? Which quarterback do we consider elite?
Both.
No, which quarterback do we consider elite? It's not both. We consider Josh Allen an elite quarterback. We consider Justin Herbert a good quarterback that's on that fringe of becoming an elite quarterback. But it's debatable. It's debatable whether Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback. For the most part, even with down year, I talk a little shit. I said Josh Allen's out of the top 5, but for the most part, that's a week on week basis where I'll go back and forth and say maybe he's top 5, maybe he's 6, maybe that could be a week on week basis. Josh Allen is an elite quarterback in the NFL, right? So we got to stop sitting here judging him by the standards of good quarterbacks. We judge him by we can't judge him by the standards of Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, we can't trust him. We can't judge him by the standards of a Kirk Cousins or whatever. Josh Allen is an elite quarterback. How many playoff spots are there now?
7.
There's 7, right? They're not 6. And back in the day when there was only 6 playoff spots, did we ever sit here and be like, oh man, Brady's not gonna make the playoffs? Oh man, Peyton's not gonna make the playoffs? Oh man, Ben's not gonna make the playoffs? Did we ever do that back in the day? No. So if we're gonna judge Josh Allen on an elite level, yes, it's Josh Allen we should be more concerned about because Josh Allen is elite. So by him not making, if he do not make the playoffs, that is saying that he is regressing in the NFL. And that is what that's saying. Because every single year, what is the difference between this year and last year?
Hard, bro. That's so
hard
because I'm saying for both guys, it's hard. Yes. Okay. For the sake of the argument, yes, I'm gonna say Josh Allen because maybe he's regressing. Has he made some abysmal plays this year? Yes. But you could chalk up to him not trusting in his OC and him trying to put it on his all shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Herbert, does he elevate his team to newer heights? I don't think so. I think he's just a guy who's just going to go out there. I think he's a baller. I think Herbert's a baller. You remember we had this conversation about guys who are ballers and then guys who are game changers. I think Allen is in that game changer level. And I think Herbert's just a baller. You're going to go out there and put up stats, make it fun. But I think it's for both of them. I think it comes down to coaching.
Right now, when I look at Josh Allen, I am comparing him to the Brady's, the Mannings, the Ben Roethlisberger's, the elite quarterbacks of our time. When I look at Justin Herbert, I'm comparing
That's
him.
Not fair, though.
When I look at
that's not fair because Allen hasn't done anything on the. Neither one of them have done anything to the level of what those guys have done.
When I look at Justin Herbert, I'm comparing him to the Matt Ryans. I'm comparing him to Phillip Rivers, who put up great numbers. They put up great numbers, and they're not going to be first ballot Hall of Famers. And it's just right now who not going to be first ballot Hall of Famers. But for 4 years from now, when you look at the numbers, it's like they might make it in. Them are the guys that is the difference in the levels of who we're comparing Josh Allen and Justin Herbert to. So we cannot sit here when Josh Allen is not elevating his team to where they're supposed to be at right now and this is the thing, I don't want to hear nothing about injuries. I don't want to hear nothing about that because Josh Allen have injuries on his team every single year, and that hasn't been a problem yet. So why is it a problem now?
I mean, I got a little stat here for you that I polled about this team. I got 2 stats, but I'll give you the first one. So in the Bills' past 5 games, they've scored a touchdown in 25% of their drives. Josh Allen has 6 turnovers. In the Chiefs' past 5 games, they've scored a touchdown in 20% of their drives. And Mahomes has 6 turnovers. And they say one is heroic and one is broken.
So do you know why that
Mahomes,
is?
You can't compare to Mahomes. Mahomes has done the damn thing. He's got 2 rings, 2
exactly.
MVP,
But
done it.
But the difference is when Pat Mahomes is getting these turnovers, it's not costing his team the game.
Well, and I've talked to you about this, and Josh Allen doesn't have costly turnovers that cost his game. Actually, when we ask him to go give us the lead and give us a win, he does. It's just both those times that it's happened, the defense didn't hold.
But also, you got to look at it second too. You got to think about it. Pat Mahomes isn't playing with an alpha receiver either. You don't have a number 1.
I mean, so
you got to cut him a little bit of a break. I
consider Travis Kelce alpha.
I'm not gonna lie. Over these past 3 games, right? You could not tell me a difference between Kincaid and Kelce. Over these past I said 3 games. Over these past 3 games, Kincaid has looked a lot like Travis Kelce.
Well,
He is.
according to Howard, once Dawson Knox gets back, that's all gonna stop.
It's
I
been had it
hate
been
to say
two? Had it been two or three? Two, three.
what
It's been two
since he's
What?
games.
been gone through. Yeah,
Kincaid has had 5 catches and a touchdown in 4 straight games.
Okay.
But allegedly, from an insider that I know very near and dear to me, when Dawson Knox shows up, who's done absolutely nothing in the 4 years he's been there, that will all come to an end, and Kincaid will go back to being a blocker. So
and like
that's
well,
something you guys would do, though. That's something Buffalo would do.
yeah,
Would take production off the field and put somebody else in there that they feel like they owe it to.
I'm telling you, I'm not saying Kincaid's not going to have 3-4 catches. I'm telling you the amount of volume and the looks and targets because
It doesn't
Dawson
matter
Knox is going to get.
it doesn't matter
4.
because right now Kincaid is Allen's boy in the red zone.
Hey man, I'm cool with it. Hey, like you said,
I'm saying you should win him. You should want him
I
on the
am-
field.
He's
He's showing out for
praying
you.
to God what Pettigrew just said that he looks better than Kelsey. I am praying to God that goes from now until the next 10 years this guy's wearing a Bills jersey that he outperformed. But it's just it's tough. I honestly, if I'll be honest with you, I just think we're just having a little bit of bad luck in a lot of these because there's another stat like interception worthy plays. Josh has the same percentage as CJ Stroud, who's like 4th least in the NFL. It's just his is actually getting picked off, and it's just like there's a lot of bad things that are happening, just unlucky things like the Kincaid fumble when we were coming back for the red zone. I mean, it's a rookie, he makes a fumble. The Gabe Davis interception, like god damn, like
What about the Josh? What about the Josh Allen fumble?
which that's I'll give you that. That's a bad one. And the interception before half, that's a bad one. So he has had bad turnovers. He has had whatever, man. It's just like it's part of the game turnover, I guess. But
I just when I look at Josh Allen, right? I just been waiting on because we saw it a couple of times this year where Shakir he done had decent games where I've been waiting on what I'm waiting on Josh Allen to do is make other wide receivers. Pat Mahomes does this. There's a lot of guys that come through that we're just like, yo, who are these guys? And yeah, it's not like a week on, week out basis, but he makes wide receivers better every single year. That's nobody's. And that's what we're waiting on Josh Allen to do. Gabe Davis, I've never been like the biggest fan of Gabe Davis, but at the same time, Gabe Davis got some talent. It's not like he's talentless. Shakir got some talent, perfect example. Last year with Isaiah McKenzie. Josh Allen had Isaiah McKenzie looking like a nice slot player. Why is he not doing that with other receivers this year? And why is that not helping win games? I just don't understand. Josh Allen, if he does not make the playoffs, I would be a lot more concerned about him.
No, like I said yes. If the Bills miss the playoffs, it's a lot more alarming than if the Chargers miss the playoffs because the Chargers are kind of a mediocre squad with a really great offense, but it's just something just is off there. I'm not expecting. I don't think anyone had the Chargers winning the Super Bowl or going deep in the playoff this year. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But for the Bills, it's the expectation. The more I think about it now, yeah, it's the expectation that they are AFC Championship or less. So who's more alarming? Yes, I think it'd be more alarming with Josh Allen with the way he's played this year. But you could probably chalk that to down here. And like I said, it's coaching probably. I don't know. Both these guys are so fucking talented that you can't really put it all on their shoulders. But you expect them to because they play the quarterback position because you want them to elevate the squad to new heights. But the NFL is changing every day. You know what I'm saying? So it takes more than just one guy anymore.
So I was talking to Vic. See, this is the perfect example. This is where I put Josh Allen, right? I was talking to Vic like last week. We were testing, right? And this is what I said. There's 4 quarterbacks. There's Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. Them are the 4 irreplaceable quarterbacks. You're not trading them for nothing, right? Then you got Trevor, Hurts, Justin, and CJ. Them guys, you're not replacing them unless you get one of them top 4 guys. They're the only way you're replacing them guys. And then you got the Dax, the Kirk, the Carr, the Staffords, the Collars. Them are guys, you're just stuck with because you're never going to get something that's too good to move on from them, but you're never going to get something like you're not going to move on for anything worse. And then everyone else is movable. So that shows how I look at Josh. I look at him in that top 4. He's irreplaceable. So we cannot compare him to a guy that I'm telling you right now, it'll be a question if they remove Justin for Josh Allen right now? That'd be a
I
quick
would
like.
say no.
Huh?
I would say no. I would
No,
personally.
I'm saying from
I
the
would be like,
Chargers standpoint. I'm saying from the Chargers
oh
standpoint.
yeah, oh yeah. What? Yeah, of course they would.
They
Even that
will look at that.
offense.
So we cannot put the same expectations on Justin Herbert that we put on Josh Allen. And
I was looking at it from a money point of view. You know what I mean? Because I mean, if you're getting paid all this money, like and I guess maybe it was wrong because you can make that argument to Deshaun Watson, but that's kind of like a head case argument.
but bro,
But that's
we
just
know what the money situation is. It's whoever's up next. You know what I mean?
thank
Because
God it wasn't him.
once Josh Allen come up,
Yeah,
it's just whoever's up next type situation.
ready for us because that shit can be crazy.
All right. Well, let's get into these picks for the week. We got a lot of them because we got 3 games on Thanksgiving and then we got a game on Friday.
I forgot about that.
So let's get into it. Dallas versus Carolina.
Give me Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah, I hate him.
Yeah, I gotta go Dallas in this game. Hope I'm wrong, but probably won't be. All right, Pittsburgh versus Cleveland.
Give me
Give me
Cleveland.
Pittsburgh.
Give me Cleveland.
Pittsburgh, for every reason we just stated earlier in the podcast.
Yeah, I'm
Pittsburgh.
definitely going Pitts in this game. Fucking Diaz or whatever his name, Dorian Thompson, whatever, is not good.
I think Howard wants to see him do good just for other reasons, not related to his pick.
All right, Arizona versus Houston.
Give me Arizona. I honestly, I think Kyler is going to get a couple more crazy wins, and I think this is the letdown game for CJ Stroud.
This is a lose because if Houston keeps winning, that pick just goes farther back. If Arizona wins, we keep falling back. But I'm going Houston.
Yeah, I'm going Arizona in that game. Kyler, I think he's back. All right, Chelsea versus Jags.
Oh man, this is crazy. Where is it?
Where is it? Yeah, where is it?
I don't know.
If it's in Tennessee, I'm taking Tennessee because Tennessee has the Jags number like it's nobody's business.
I know it's crazy. That's why I was
It's like so
yo,
odd.
Let me see where it's at.
In Tennessee, they lost last week too, right?
Yes.
Duval County got embarrassed at home last week. Oh my god.
No, not even that. I think there's a stat like coming off a
It's
loss.
in Jacksonville.
It's in Jacksonville.
I'll take the Jags. If it was in Tennessee, bro, you can fire up the Titans for that one.
Give me the Jags too. Give me the Jags.
Yeah, it's just I don't feel good about it.
I think I'm going with Jags. I think Will Levis is going through his rookie, slump right now. All right, what we got? Vegas versus Miami.
Give me Vegas.
Vegas versus Miami. I think this is where it stops. That's nuts.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Miami in this game. O'Connell's all right, but I don't see it. He'll be in this Miami team. Miami dog walks is the team they're supposed to beat. All right, Chicago versus Detroit.
Detroit.
Y'all Detroit every week.
Hey man, of course we are. I love
That's
that
what you
team.
got, kid. About Detroit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm actually gonna go Chicago in this. I think Justin Fields coming back for this game. I'll take Chicago.
No sir.
No sir. All right, Rams versus Chargers versus Green Bay. My fault.
Damn, man. I really hope the Chargers can win this game. I'm gonna go
I
with
don't even
it.
know why I'm even thinking about it, but the Chargers, yes, but they lose this. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Chargers in this too. All right, Giants versus Washington.
Washington. Yeah, Giant. Who's is DeVito coming back out there? Jesus.
Yeah, I believe so. He probably.
Poor DeVito.
I think he probably got one more week. I think Tyrod maybe come off next week.
Oh Jesus!
All right, Tampa Bay versus Niners.
Niners, yeah, that's a smoke.
Yeah.
You got 49ers too?
Yeah, Niners. Yeah, sorry, yeah. Ayuk is gonna have a day with that secondary. Let's watch.
All right. I want to go. I want to go Tampa so bad. Oh, we'll go Niners.
They've had some heartbreaking games. They're kind of due for that.
Tampa. I mean, the Niners do have a shaky secondary. Big Mike.
Warrior.
I'll go Niners.
I'm gonna go Niners, bro. They have more. There's more of a path, and that Chase Young, Joey Bosa thing looks crazy.
Facts.
I don't know if anyone's stopping them too on Tampa Bay.
Jets versus Buffalo.
You already know where I'm going. I'm going the game. Give me a Buffalo.
Going the Jets, boy. The Howard needs to win. So every time I pick the Bills, they lose. Every time I pick against them, they win. So I'm doing this for the city.
I ain't gonna lie, yo, that defense come alive when they're playing.
Hey,
When they
do.
play number ones, bro, it's like, dude, it's like those steel curtain days.
I'm low key gonna go Jets in this.
All right.
Nah, Buffalo been on the slide. I'm going Buffalo. They've been on the slide. I don't think they gotta win.
Nah, boy. Nah, you said it already.
Nah, I'm going Buffalo. They gotta win this. It's one of those situations. All right, Seattle versus Rams.
Where's it at? Is this in LA or is this in Seattle?
Let me see. SoFi, LA.
I'll take the Rams.
Stafford back, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming back fully healthy. Puka's fully healthy.
Give me Seattle.
Seattle's secondary is terrible. They average 278 yards allowed a game.
I'm gonna say Seattle too. I don't.
Seattle.
That's good. So if the Jets and the Rams win, that's great because then that'll put me 2 up on y'all.
All right. So let's go. What we got? Minnesota versus Denver.
Minnesota. Denver's little hot streak ends.
This is tough.
Give me Josh
You
Dobbs.
go ahead, Kari. You go ahead, Kari. Go ahead.
You just trying to go opposite? No, I'm going Minnesota in this game. Josh Dobbs.
All right, cool. I'm going Denver. I like what Denver's been doing.
All right, then Monday night we got Philly versus KC.
Ooh, that's a war, boy.
Give me
Philly.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Give me the trenches. Give me Philly. I think Philly wins this one.
Yeah, I think we're all in Philly right there. So
Are we all riding?
all right, so Thursday night we got 3 games. We got Green Bay versus Detroit. Detroit football.
Detroit's finally gonna win one of these Thanksgiving games.
What y'all got?
Detroit.
Detroit football. All right. Then we got Dallas versus Washington.
Dallas. Actually, no. I'm gonna go Washington and Dallas. Thanksgiving. I'm gonna go Washington Dallas because they can put up some points. If it does get a firefight, Sam Howell, pass leader, I think they can put up some points.
I guess I'm gonna go Cowboys because K-Wall took my little Uno reverse card on them.
I kind of this is the game where Dallas normally get embarrassed. They're probably gonna blow us out this week.
You know, Thanksgiving is something weird. I will never forget that Thanksgiving game where Gibson had like 4 TDs out of nowhere.
Oh my, we
remember? Yeah,
made some money off that one.
Yeah, they
you sent me to the you sent me to hell with that one because I think you have Gibson or some shit. I'm like, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I'm going to watch that.
All right, and then San Francisco versus Seattle.
Seattle, I like Seattle in that one.
No,
I think Gino can get it off.
What? Gino's gonna be looking crazy.
Oh wait.
Yeah, no.
I'm going back.
San Francisco. He said Seattle.
I keep forgetting about Chase and Bosa.
San Francisco, and then you got San Francisco too.
That's gonna be a long day for Kenneth Walker.
What you got, Howard? San Francisco.
Yeah.
All right, and then for the first time we got the Black Friday game.
Ooh, this was
Miami versus the Jets.
I do got the Jets in this one. I ain't gonna lie. I think they come through. I think the Jets come out.
This is a division game too.
Yeah.
You know they're coming.
New York Jets.
You got him too? All right. We're all sweeping on the Jets.
We'll go Jets. I don't know, bro. Should I go Miami just so I can?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I ain't got nothing to lose, so I'm in 3rd place. I'm saying, you know what? I'm gonna go Miami.
You gotta get risky with these picks, bro.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing to lose. Well, we got our picks in. It's been another great week of the Stand Bounce podcast. I'm your host, Corey P. Signing off for Howard and K-Wall. Good night.